Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in. The new drug today is a football weekend. A little different on the college front. Not as much activity. One ball game that we will pick in our picks. One
Awesome.
game. The Heisman Trophy, just heard Max talk about, comes up as well. And what a terrific slate of National Football League games. So, we talked about it yesterday. I went back and looked again because I did the picks, put the picks together. Ooh, it's a good weekend in the
It's sensational. Best weekend of the regular season. Now, obviously, a lot of that's because you now have the playoff picture is crystallizing. But yeah, I mean, you've got 5 outstanding matchups featuring teams with, certainly big-time division, wild card, massive implications.
So, of all the things that happen in football that are weird, the Devondre Campbell thing was really weird.
Yeah, that's pathetic. I mean, just absolutely pathetic. You can't just quit on your team like that. So, I'm sure they'll suspend him for a game for conduct detrimental and then cut him. But yeah, it's just you wouldn't think that would happen with an organization like the 49ers, but and the success they've had, obviously they've struggled this season, but when he quit on them, they were in a dogfight, and if they'd won last night against the Rams, they still were alive. But just a brutal season for San Francisco. I mean, with all the injuries and now this embarrassment, tough year for Kyle Shanahan and company there.
Yeah, so weird. And look, and you made a good point. They are such a functional franchise most of the time that it shows the wacky stuff can happen to anybody, can it?
Sure.
I mean that's kind of the storyline, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The wackies that it only takes one, and all of a sudden it's a wacky deal.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. If a player did this here, they would be a villain for many, many years to come. Their name would, occasionally be referenced in a joking fashion. And, it would be hard for their memory to fully disappear here. I'm sure it'll be the same way with 49ers fans. But, yeah, just shocking to say, nope, I'm not going to go in.
Yeah, I'm not going into the game. So there you go. He won't play again for the 49ers. I'll be interested to see who does pick him up. If somebody will at some point, but it went viral pretty fast. I'll say that.
Yes.
So we'll see. A lot of things to talk about today on the program. You'll hear from Doug Peterson in just a moment. The Jaguars coach always joins me on a Friday, and we'll look ahead to the Jets game. I know he feels better that they finally got a win under the belt in a tough year. Rafael Esparza will join Hays Carlyon at about 4:20. Some of the best bets of the week. Boy, oh boy, there's some interesting lines in the NFL this week, aren't there?
Absolutely. That's going to be fascinating to see because Rafael does a great job of steering us in the right direction. So I'm very, very interested in getting his takes on. We've got on my list, I've got 8 games I want to get his opinion on.
8 of them. All right. I love
yeah,
it.
in the NFL. Yeah. And we'll get his opinion on Army-Navy, too, just for fun.
Yeah, so that comes up today on the program. Pete Prisco checks in at 5 o'clock, as he always does on a Friday, so it'll be good to have Pete on the program as well. We'll talk about other things. I want to talk about the Heisman Trophy, see what you guys think about who might win the Heisman Trophy. I will give you who I think will win. I will not tell you who I voted for until Monday per rules. But I will tell you what I think, and I don't know that the person I voted for is who I think will win. But I'll tell you that. But I'll get to that, or maybe it is. So, but that comes up a little bit.
I will be surprised if it's not Lagway. So I think you'll be right.
Yeah, well, but like I said, I'm not saying. All I'm saying is I don't know that he will win. So if I voted for Lagway and he didn't win, beyond my disappointment, but beyond my obvious disappointment, I would then say, like I would prove, like I said, I don't know if the guy who I voted for was going to win. So there's that. I will tell you this again. In 1987, the first time I ever had a Heisman vote, I voted obviously Tim Brown first. I forget who was second. Tim Brown won on the landslide. I voted Kerwin Bell third. I'm allowed to do that, right?
You're a voter.
Write it down.
Yeah.
You have to write down name, position, school. Kerwin Bell, quarterback, Florida.
There you go.
That's what I did. Now it's just name of school. Okay, so there you go.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. So that I vote my first ever vote. I've told Kerwin that many times.
Yeah.
I said, Kerwin, how many votes you got? He said, dude, probably not many. I said, okay, well, you got a one. I can tell you Kerwin Bell got a Heisman vote.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I voted for Shane third or not in 91. I don't know if I did or not. So, but Kerwin I did vote for. So there's that.
You voted for Tebow? How many times did you vote Tebow won?
Twice.
Twice.
Okay. I did. I voted for him both times.
The year he won and then
the next year.
The next year.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And by the way, Then the next year he had more first place votes than anybody else. Did you know that?
Right.
Yeah, he had more.
That was the Bradford McCoy year?
Correct. But he had more first place votes in 2008 than anybody else. But it's a points thing, and some people didn't have him on the ballot.
Right.
Which is somewhat comical.
Right.
But in Bradford won, right? I think Bradford
won it that year, and then the Gators won the national title.
Right, that's right. But I voted for Tebow first vote. It wasn't a Florida thing. I believed he was the best guy.
Sure.
I voted for Rex Grossman. I thought Rex Grossman should have won it. No one.
Yeah, that was robbery.
Yeah. So
because that was bad. I mean, the Heisman, it seems like they've always had these sort of unwritten rules. They still have the unwritten rule if you can't win it twice. Archie Griffin's the only guy that's done it.
Right.
But back in the early 2000s, sophomores couldn't win it, which is the only reason Rex Grossman didn't win it.
That's right.
And then they finally got away from that with Tebow's year. But even Tebow probably doesn't win it the year he won it if Dennis Dixon, the Oregon quarterback, hadn't gotten hurt with like 3-4 weeks left in the year because he was
having a great year.
Yeah, he was by far the favorite when he got hurt.
So we'll talk all about that coming up in the program. But let's start with the Jags and the Jets. They get together on Sunday afternoon. Love to see the Jags win twice in a row. Love to see the Jags win out. Be awfully fun to watch if that happens. Doug Peterson and his team got a win last week. Good to see. And Doug joins me on the program now to talk about the New York Jets.
The coach speaks. Jaguars coach Doug Peterson joins Frank Frangie right now. Presented by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
All right, time now to talk a little Jaguar football. The head coach Doug Peterson joins us on the program today on Friday. Doug, how we doing?
Oh, doing great, Frank. Thank you for having me again.
You know what? You've done a great job keeping these guys motivated and playing hard, but it's got to feel good to have a win behind you. I know it's rewarding for those guys. I know how hard they've worked at it. Practice a little different, a little more pep in their step this week at all, maybe?
Yeah, Frank, a lot different. Obviously, the win in Tennessee was huge for us, and it came at the right time. We needed it, obviously. And it really kind of propels you now for the last month of the season. Guys were energetic and excited about the week this week.
Yeah. So I think we all are. Hey, the news of the day. You announced today that Evan Engram will be down for the rest of the year. Tell us a little bit about that, and I guess more now a real opportunity for Brenton Strange, right?
Exactly. Unfortunately. Evan had an MRI late on Monday night, and it revealed that he had a labrum tear there in his left shoulder. And so, talking to the doctors, talking to Evan, his best interest obviously decided to go ahead with surgery and to repair that shoulder and really get him ready for the off season and looking forward to next year. But so right now it's just a matter of, hey, Brenton Strange stepping up, kind of being the focal point there, him and, Luke Farrell and really, and I think Josiah, Josiah is another one that it's a great opportunity for all three of those guys, but really Brenton, and Luke are kind of the two there that we're excited about and looking forward to watching those two guys play.
Doug, Brenton looks like, and you're right, Luke's been a big physical blocker, and I'd love to see Josiah DeGuara have an opportunity too. But Brenton looks to me like a guy that could be special. You drafted him high. He plays hard. He blocks. I mean, there's something in there. Tell me more about him, because I get the hunch there's something in there, Doug.
Yeah, Frank, you're absolutely right. This guy just loves football. And I love that about him. I love his attitude. I love his energy. He's got a little nastiness when he plays, which I really like and can respect for a young player. And on top of that, he's good. He's a talented young tight end that I see a bright future here in Jacksonville, and really somebody too that wants to get better. He's a player that's continuing to always kind of work his craft and develop and get better. And Richard Angulo, the tight end coach, has done a great job developing that. And so that's the type of player that we have. And that's the type of player you see on game days.
When you have to, as a coach, particularly coach on the offensive side, your offensive coaches and you've lost a lot of guys. And I know it's not an excuse. I know it's next man up and nobody cares. I get that. But you've lost a lot. I mean, 2 of your 3 starting wide receivers. Your left tackle, at least the guy that started the season, isn't here anymore. Your tight end is now down. It's an opportunity for those guys, right? But as a coach, preparing that, how hard is that getting the next guy ready for you, for press, the whole bit?
Yeah, Frank, it's a challenge. Coach speak is like you say, get the next guy up mentality, all of that. But look, we're tied into wins and losses, and this is not preseason anymore. It's the regular season. Everything is magnified. Everything matters, as we say. And so it's a bit of a challenge, but at the same time, that's our job as coaches. Our coaches are to prepare everybody and to get everybody ready to go, and that's why I think press has done an outstanding job involving our weapons on offense, guys like Brenton, guys like BT, Parker Washington, guys like that, and then for Richard to continuing to coach and yeah, it is the next man up, but it can be a little bit of a challenge. But we got great guys in that locker room, and they're excited to play.
Boy, BT is playing, isn't he? He gets those balls at the end, and I get the challenge for a coach. You call the plays for him, and you hope your quarterback finds him, and he's going to be double covered or whatever they do now because he's the guy everybody knows about. But boy, he continues to grow, doesn't he? What a great rookie he is, Doug.
He is a pro in every aspect of the word. He for a young player to come in and pick up our offense. I mean, I know we first round pick and all that, but just a great person to be around, a hard worker, does everything you ask him to do. So I appreciate that about him as a coach, and really, I think there's more. I think there's more in him. I think there's even a higher ceiling than what he's shown this season. I think he can be up there with the Jamar Chases and the Justin Jeffersons and guys like that. He can have that type. He's got that type of talent, and so that's why we're excited. For him, and we just got to keep the pieces around him and find ways to get him the ball.
Other side of the ball, Doug, you go against a 4-time MVP, and I never know if the 41-year-old guy is the same as he was when he was a 31-year-old guy, but boy, Aaron Rodgers is a good player. You're a quarterbacks guy. I know you appreciate quarterback play. What has made him so good over all these years?
I think it's just his approach to the game. We all know he's a very smart, intellectual human being. He does a lot of reading, a lot of studying, things like that. So he's smart. Takes care of himself physically in the off season, prepares himself for the rigors and the grind of a regular season, and honestly, just the ability to raise the level of talent around him, I think, is so important, and he does such a great job of that, and really gets everybody involved, and I think he's still playing at a high elite level. Right now, he probably doesn't move the same as if he were 31, but you know what? The ball still comes out with a lot of zip, and it's still pretty accurate. So he's playing pretty good right now.
Final thing, Doug, you were saying earlier, you and I were talking, I heard you say it in the presser too. The Jets don't have a 3-10 defense, do they? That's a physical, tough nose. We all know Quinnen Williams, but it's more than just one guy. Their linebacker plays good. Tell me about their defense, because I think it's better than their record indicates.
It really is. This is a top 5 NFL defense, not a 3-10 defense whatsoever. And I would say this: the one thing that they're probably lacking on defense is just the takeaways. I think if they had more takeaways, it'd probably be a different story for them. But yeah, Quinnen Williams, number 95, D tackle, one of the best D tackles in this league. Right up there with guys like Jeffrey Simmons in Tennessee and Chris Jones in Kansas City, guys like that. Just somebody you got to account for. And then this is a fast flow linebacker unit that can flat out fly. They can flat out run and run sideline to sideline and get after you. So you see the Robert Saleh, who I know is not there, but you see that footprint, the San Francisco style of defense, right, with these guys, And that's what they've created there. It's a good group, and it'll take a great performance by us to beat this team on Sunday.
All right, well, the Jags are playing well. That was a good win last week. Looking forward to seeing this one. Jags and Jets coming up Sunday at Everbank Stadium. Doug, we appreciate it, man. We'll see you on Sunday.
All right, Frank. Thank you. See you then.
All right, Jags and Jets coming up on Sunday afternoon. All right, it's good to catch up with the coach, too. He, again, you need a win just because wins feel better. Not because you're going anywhere, Hays. I've told you many times, I think winning a bunch of games now would serve them well next year. I think how you end affects how you start. But, boy, it was good to see all of them get a win. I think that was kind of the point.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, it helped that Tennessee played an incredibly awful game. Maybe they'll see that Sunday from the Jets. I think the matchups in this game really are going to make it hard on the Jaguars. So we'll see. Particularly with now not having Evan Engram, because I think the Jets' plan now is, I can't imagine they won't just put Sauce Gardner on like Parker Washington, whoever that second receiver is, and then they'll just double Brian Thomas Jr. every snap all game long. And you just put your second corner and a safety on top of him and make him beat double teams on every single snap, and then rely on Gardner to shut down whoever the Jaguars line up on the other side. And I think, that's a advantageous matchup. Obviously, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, going up against the Jaguar corners. Quinnen Williams, who, Doug's been raving about all week, and rightfully so. Anytime this offense sees a dominant defensive tackle, they have problems with that. So there's a lot of things about this game that I think are a problem for the Jaguars, and I don't see as many when you reverse it. I don't think there's very many things the Jaguars can do that the Jets look at it and say, okay, that's a problem for us. Probably blocking Josh and Trayvon consistently. But other than that, I would think the Jets probably feel pretty good, even though it's a matchup of 2, 3, and 10 teams.
All right, what are the best matchups of the week? What are the best bets of the week? When we come back, Hays catches up with Rafael Esparza from MyBookie. We'll talk betting and plays for you this week. That's next.
It's just the Jags and the NFL.
That's all I ever think about.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
Exactly.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studio.
Let's do this, shall we?
10 to noon on
1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. Now I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
This holiday season, let Bono's Catering do the cooking so you can enjoy more time with family and friends. Frank Frangie here. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for 75 years. Holiday catering is available with whole smoked turkeys, country hams, and all the fixings. Be sure to pre-order online at bonosbarbq.com or give us a call at 904-332-7427. Speaking of the holidays, Bono's signature rubs make the perfect gift for all barbecue lovers. Remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. It's the holiday season, and Nimnik Buick GMC is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us because there's nobody but Nimnik. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% zero APR financing. That's right, 0%. Shop online 24/7 at NimnikBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
All right, here we go. Former Jaguars QB David Garrard joins Jaguars Today to talk Jags.
All right, guys.
Mondays on 1010XL.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com.
What is that?
Get ready to celebrate December with Best Bet. We're giving away an incredible $660,000 in cash and prizes. Kickstart your holiday fun in Jacksonville with amazing promotions like the 12 Days of Christmas High Hands and $500 High Hand Fridays. At Best Bet Orange Park and St. Augustine, don't miss out on thrilling tournaments and $300 every 15 minutes table game giveaways. For all the details, head over to bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
I'm Julie Harrell. I grew up here in Jacksonville and have seen our city grow as well as the number of car crashes. If you need help after a crash, choose a law firm with an actual office here. Lawyers you can meet with face-to-face and who specialize in personal injury. At Harrell & Harrell, we've been here for nearly 40 years, developing relationships with local doctors, law enforcement, helping people just like you. If you've been injured in a crash, call Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BarrOrthopedics.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got JJ LaSelva as well. I am Hays Carlyon, and we are pleased to be joined with our good friend, Rafael Esparza from MyBookie. He's going to give us the way we need to be spending our money, making our plays as football season. On the college side, Rafael winds down, but certainly we've got a lot of great NFL games to get into. But before we get there, Army-Navy, give me your thoughts there. I see Army's a 6-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked on the line movement. It's been opened up at 4.5. Now it's 6.5. But I think we're going to see tons of points. And granted, last year's game, 17-11, it was actually a push. Opened up at 26 and got bet up to total 28. So it was a push. But I think both teams are going to be able to put points on the board. This is the first Army-Navy game. We're not going to see any weather involved. Normally it's either raining, snowing, or sleet. in these games, but it's going to be in the high 40s. So I think we can see points scored. So I like the over 39.
Okay, great stuff. And give us before I've got a bunch of NFL games I want to get your thoughts on. But before we get there, any early college football playoff, anything that's kind of caught your eye there?
I'm a little interested in the Texas game. I think that number is just a little bit tad high, even though everyone thinks it's going to be a big blowout on that one. So that one's kind of interesting. But that's the only one that's really come across. I'm really excited to see what Alabama does in a bowl game. Are they going to treat this as just maybe a spring practice, or they really want to go out? And don't keep an eye out for South Carolina. They are really pumped up to play this bowl game.
Yeah, and how important is that? I mean, how tricky is that to handicap when you don't really know the motivation that each team has in outside the playoff bowl game?
It's important to know how the team reacts on coming to these bowl games. For instance, we'll take UNLV. They're just excited to be at a bowl game. They're excited that their football program has turned around. Granted, their head coach went to Purdue, but there's a lot of players that are either looking to extend their play at UNLV or maybe even thinking of jumping into the transfer portal. So you have to look at teams who are excited to be there and teams who are just going there for the vacation and a new scenery.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, well, let's get to the NFL, maybe the best weekend that we've had so far in this great regular season. I'm going to start with a game here that does not have playoff implications, but the Jets are coming here, 3.5-point road favorite. The Jaguars coming off a win in Nashville over the Titans. If you had to play this game, where would you lay your money?
Well, this game looked intriguing when the schedule makers made it, but boy, it doesn't look intriguing right now. I would have to say maybe the Jets just because of their defense, but I would probably say just watch it as a fan. Maybe do some live betting on it. Maybe you can get a better number, but this is not a game that I'm really too thrilled about. At least we might see more points in this game than we saw last night's game in a Thursday night game. What a bore fest.
Yeah, I was shocked at how bad the 49ers-Rams game was, to your point. It almost looked like neither team was expecting rain, and then a monsoon hit, and they didn't know really how to react to it, which is obviously inexcusable for an NFL team. But
the odds makers didn't expect the rain because we had the total 48.5 pretty much all day, and then when they put the TV screen on and showed the raining, all the bettors were running to the window like they were playing in a monsoon.
Yeah. How about that? That's wild. And getting it inside the AFC South after we talk Jags. Let's stay there. Houston welcomes in Miami, the Dolphins getting 3 points. I kind of like the Dolphins getting 3 here, but what do you think we'll see?
I agree. I think their offense is clicking. And, boy, man, Houston was the flavor of all last year, coming in red hot, and, boy, they have not performed. I know injuries has bitten them, especially on the offensive side, but I like this Miami team. I think they'll be too quick for Houston.
There's one number that is gigantic on the board, Baltimore going to the Giants as a 16.5-point favorite. Normally we take the underdog in this game. Is that where you would go? Obviously it's about as lopsided a quarterback matchup as you could have with Lamar Jackson going up against Tommy DeVito.
This is going to be very interesting because this number opened up as 13.5, and I thought it was high. Now it's 16.5, and everybody keeps on asking me what's the highest number I've seen. Back in the days when New England was romping, I saw 21.5 actually pop up, but it's either Baltimore or no play for me. This one screams like a 31-7 type of game.
Yeah, I covered a game in 2013, Jaguars at Denver, when Peyton Manning was there, and the Jaguars were a 27.5-point dog.
Yep, I remember that game.
Yeah, and I think they covered. Posluszny had a pick six, and I think the Jaguars weren't all that competitive, but they did cover that spread. So, 16.5. Boy, that's a lot of points to give an NFL team on their home field. Let's get it to maybe a little bit more of an interesting game. Cincinnati basically has to win out to probably have any chance to make the tournament. They go to Nashville to face the Titans as a 5-point favorite. I like Cincinnati here, but what's kind of been the story for you this week with this game?
This one is. I also like Cincinnati, but I don't know why the wise guys have been betting Tennessee week after week after week. I don't understand why. I think Cincinnati, if Joe Burrow was having a winning record, or so the Bengals, he would be up there with the MVP talk, the numbers he's putting up. I like Cincinnati laying this off. I say people lay this number until it goes past the 6.5.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. And now let's get to some of the headliners of the week. Probably the game of the week in the NFL. Buffalo at Detroit. The Bills going there, getting 2.5 points. How do you see this one? And do you think we might get that number up to 3? Should people wait? How would you handle this one?
I think it's going to stay around a 2.5 or around that number. I don't see a 3 pop up. The books are getting really good two-way action on this one. Now, if you like Buffalo, maybe wait for live betting. If Detroit gets the ball first, let's say Buffalo punts, and then Detroit's turn, you might get a better number, maybe a +3 or +3.5. These are the type of games where it's really good and really tight. Look at some live betting to maybe try to get that number you're looking for.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Rafael Esparza joining us from MyBookie to give us his expertise on where we need to be placing our bets this weekend. I've got a few more for you, and then if I didn't get to something that you feel strongly about, then please volunteer it for us. But let's go Indianapolis going to Denver. Again, Indianapolis trying to stay relevant in the wild card race. They're 2 games back of Denver, the 7th seed, who's 8-5. The Colts are getting 4.5 here. I like Denver. I think Denver, that defense is going to really make things frustrating for Richardson, who has been playing better. So I would give the 4.5, but where do you see it?
Yeah, I like Denver. That defense has been lights out. And I like how you said how the Colts are trying to keep playoff. The word try is in that sentence. I think Denver wins this one, and that try is out the window.
Yeah, I would agree. And then kind of an underrated game, Tampa Bay going to the Chargers. The Buccaneers are getting 3 points here. What are your thoughts about this one?
I'm torn and puzzled how Tampa Bay's been playing and no one's really talking about. I think because everyone wants to make fun of Kirk Cousins in Atlanta and his downfall. But I think Tampa Bay's playing some really good ball. They win this division, so I like Tampa Bay this week.
Yeah, I would agree. And then we'll wrap it up with at least with the games I have. Pittsburgh going to Philadelphia. This should be a big-time street fight. But the Steelers, who are having a incredibly surprising great year, they're getting 5.5 here. Now, they won't have George Pickens, who obviously is the vast majority of their receiving yardage. But how do you see this one? Do you take the Steelers in that great defense and get the 5.5? Or do you like Saquon and Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown to mend fences?
I think they mend fences, and this is one I was going to talk about. If you're a bettor, wait to see if that half a point falls off on the Eagles. Pittsburgh are getting a lot of money on here because everyone wants to talk about Tomlin, Coach of the Year, and how well they've been playing. If that half a point comes off and I can get 5 on Philly, I think if Philadelphia is the better team on paper, their defense is much better. And you said it, no Pickens. That means the long ball for Russell Wilson probably won't be there as much as we've seen game after game. If Pickens is not playing and I can try to get a 5, I think the Eagles is the play here, but look for that number.
Yeah, great stuff. Rafael, we always appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll look forward to talking with you next week.
Take it easy. Have a fantastic weekend.
All right. Thanks so much. Rafael Esparza from MyBookie. We always appreciate when he takes some time to join us. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we'll get into some college football. You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's the ultimate tailgate. Someone's going to win a tailgate combo pack from Southern Steer Butcher.
Valued at $100.
And it could be you.
Monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and
collectible football.
Enter at 1010XL.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 3.5-point home underdog against the Jets. The over-under is 39.5 points. The Texans are a 3-point home favorite versus the Dolphins. The Lions are a 2.5-point home favorite against the Bills. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here, and I can't say enough good things about the team at Sunshine Turf and the work they've done for us. Let Sunshine Turf transform your backyard into a low-maintenance oasis that will be green all year long with artificial turf. Caleb and his team can help you create the lush outdoor space of your dreams, whether you want a durable place for your kids to play or you're ready to say goodbye to muddy paw prints. Visit sunshineturf.info or call 904-383 0243 for a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Pregame Friday, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Human trafficking happens in Jacksonville. As a man, you could do something about it. Buy Survivor-made holiday gifts at Rethreaded. From leather goods to toffees and treats, shop in person or online at rethreaded.com. Changing lives through gifting.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
We know how much you love to shop. We're the same way. That's why 1010XL has your holiday gift guide. You'll find great gift ideas from Kuhn Flowers, Beards Diamonds, and Rethreaded. Start shopping at 1010XL.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of comfort and joy. Comfort food and the joy that comes with digging into a huge plate of diner favorites from Metro Diner. And to make things even more merry, now through the end of the year, they're adding on a $10 bonus card with every $50 spent on gift cards. Metro Diner gift cards are the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Friends, family, or coworkers. Stop by the diner or metrodiner.com and get all your gift shopping done easily. Happy holidays from Metro Diner.
Electrical problems? Call American Electrical Contracting. 737-7770. Small jobs or large, they do them all. Work with a locally owned and operated company that will wire it right at a fair price. It's not just a slogan, it's the way they do business.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
This afternoon, the team announced that tight end Evan Engram will miss the remainder of the season to undergo surgery for a torn labrum. While it's a bummer situation for Engram, Brenton Strange has another chance to step up big for the Jags. Strange played the tight end one spot when Engram missed the first few weeks with a hamstring injury early on, and has 23 catches for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns on the year.
Here's Peterson on his excitement for Strange and the other tight ends to step up.
Yeah, we've been pleased with Brenton, excited about Brenton, really. He's done a nice job for us. And this will be a great opportunity for him to really showcase himself a little bit in our offense. Another opportunity for Luke as well, I think, to get more of an opportunity in these last 4 games. So expect both those guys and Josiah too. I mean, this will be good for him.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Sticks is headed to the First Coast?
Is that right?
Well, that's the word on the street, not just Sticks. Kevin Cronin from REO. I can't stop that feeling anymore. And you thought I was done. Don Felder, Gainesville's own one-time Eagle.
Wow.
That's all I'm telling you.
You know what?
You know what you're wishing right now? You had tickets.
Tickets.
I'm not giving you any. But
I'll just have to go buy them.
But you know what I might do? Give away 2 right now. What do you think about that? Sticks, Kevin Cronin from REO, Don Felder, who was a one-time, who wrote, by the way, Hotel California.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good credit to have.
Yeah, pretty good. So, so that's and he's a great guitarist. He plays that 12 string. So, tickets right now. How about caller 3, JJ? That work? You think?
Yes, let's do it. They will be live at Daly's Place June 2nd. Tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com for the Brotherhood of Rock Tour.
All right, so there you go. 3. By the way, I'll say this: I like all 3 bands very much. I love REO, and I love Styx, and of course everybody loves the Eagles. So there you go. So, but you'll get. My guess is they'll play a bunch of all of the songs from those bands. Kevin Cronin, he's going to play all that REO stuff and sing all that REO stuff. So there you go. So that's all coming up. There you go. Caller 3, and you're heading next summer to Daly's Place. Who do you think's going to win the Heisman, and who do you think should win the Heisman?
I think Travis Hunter should win the Heisman. He's the most outstanding player. Genty's been incredible for Boise State. It's a 2-man race for me, but I would give it to Travis Hunter. His numbers are incredible. His snap count is astronomical. And, I do think his resume is one of the most unique ones that we've seen, and Colorado had a nice season. And so I would give it to Travis Hunter.
What about it, JJ? Got an opinion on that?
I agree, just because of the unicorn value. And like you said, they won, 8 games? I always thought maybe if Colorado wins 6 games, are they going to give it to him? But they were just good enough. So, yeah, I'd probably give it to him. He's going to win by a landslide. I'd probably have Genty number 2 and Cam, who I think is the best quarterback in the nation, number 3.
Yeah, okay. So the way you would vote it would be Hunter 1, Genty 2, Cam Ward 3.
Even though Cam, obviously, my favorite.
Yeah, but that's how
I would have Cam 3rd as well. That would be my top 3 as well.
And I will reveal to you guys both on Monday how I voted 1, 2, 3.
Sounds good. Damian George in the portal.
Is he?
Yeah.
In the portal?
Yeah. It's Florida starting right guard.
Huh, I would have guessed he would have come out earlier, come back.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting development. So and I'll give you a thought about that coming up in just a bit. But I think Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman. We'll see who people vote for. And I think it's an interesting year because the top 2 vote getters that people expect to be the top 2 vote getters in whatever order, Hunter and Genty, are not your typical Heisman candidates. Your typical Heisman candidate is a quarterback from a Power 5 school who has ridiculous numbers and whose team goes deep. That's who wins it. So neither one of them are quarterbacks. They only one is from a Power 5 school, and with all due respect, or Power 4 school, I guess, barely a Power 4 school, really. I mean, Colorado has not done much in recent years. So, but we'll see. It'll be an interesting. If it does turn out to be one of those 2 guys, then I'm going to guess it will. There's something refreshing, I believe, about it being different, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I think we're even seeing that at the NFL level this year in the MVP race with Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, having strong resumes, strong cases. I still don't think they'll win the MVP, but it's been quarterback award now in the NFL for 15 years. So just the fact that we're this deep into the season and you still have running backs that have a strong argument,
right,
is rare. So yeah, I would agree. It's obviously when there's a deserving quarterback, I mean, you can't go wrong there. It's such a difficult position to play. So to be able to play it and produce monster stat numbers, I mean, I'm not suggesting quarterbacks shouldn't normally win the award, but this is a year where really, again, I think Cam Ward has the best case, but because of the stumble in November, not that it was necessarily his fault, he's not playing free safety, but we know how this award goes, and so I think to have Hunter and Genty, to have a receiver corner like Hunter, and then have a running back that was I guess still has a chance to break the record. Pretty incredible stuff, and in the quarterbacks that we thought might have big years, like Georgia's Carson Beck, it never really materialized. So I think the door was sort of opened, and those two guys really kicked it down.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. Final thought, I want to get to some of this transfer portal stuff, but before we do, would you play Travis Hunter both ways in the NFL?
I would not. I would play him at corner and be very happy with what he can do for me at corner. Now, I mean, occasionally might I develop something for him at receiver, maybe, but that's just so tough because when you do that, you're just tipping your hand to the defense. So it's just a different level than college football. I mean, whatever you think college football is, magnify it by 50, and that's what the NFL is in terms of talent. So I would say just pick one. I think corner is where his skill set shines most. So I think as a rookie, Travis Hunter can be a top 5 corner in the NFL.
I would play him at both. Now, conventional thinking is either play him at just one, or to your point, have him make a cameo or so at one, but really only play one. Have him make a cameo or so at the other, but play just one. I want to see him try it. The one thing about, you're right, the NFL is far more grueling than college. The players are all good. You can't take a play off on offense to go play defense or vice versa because they're all good. I get that. But there's also far fewer plays. I think the one thing that helps you is there's far fewer plays. If you're a cornerback and a receiver, you play cornerback every down. Receiver, you're going to rotate in and out anyway. So I would like to see him do both. I think he's great at both. I mean, I think he's not good. He's great at both. I hope he gets a chance to do it because I think I'd love to see something different. And I think there's a chance.
I think the other thing, too, it's not just physical. It's every play in the NFL is its own puzzle. And I think it would be – I'm not saying he can't do it.
No, there's truth to that. I hear you.
But from a football IQ standpoint, you're going to have to be borderline genius to be able to play receiver and corner in the NFL and know your assignment inside and out and know how to react to whichever side of the ball you're on, either that's the opposing offense or the opposing defense, what they're going to do. It's an incredible mental load to handle. Now, maybe he can do it. And if he can, then, but that would be, I think, a very tall order because you can't bust assignments in this league. The plays, to your point, the plays are fewer, so they're even more critical, and you can't just have mental errors out there.
All right, let's get to this portal thing. Damian George, by the way, the Florida starting right guard, I thought he would test the NFL waters, like I think Austin Barber will, like I think Jake Slaughter will, the left tackle and center respectively. But you know what this is. He didn't get paid, and he thinks somebody else will pay him. Again, I made the same comment about Jack Pyburn. The whole Jack Pyburn thing, and that thing has really gotten uncomfortable now. I've heard some talk that he might be on his way to Texas A&M as we speak to visit there. But let me tell you this: I think Damian George, when the season ends, you do a player review, and every player gets an exit interview, and part of that is here's how much NIL money we're going to pay you if you stay. I've got to believe, and I don't know this, but I've got to believe Austin Barber and Jake Slaughter got more than Damian George, and that's why Damian George is in the portal, because he thinks he should be worth more, and he thinks the next school is going to give him more. The next school is going to give him more. That's what's so weird about the NIL and the portal thing. That's what's so weird. NIL means you get paid. Portal means you can leave if you don't. So that's what's so totally bizarre about it. There's not a chance Jack and Damian George, after really went to Florida and found himself, Was at Alabama, didn't play very much. Big-time recruit, big physical player. Went to Florida and played tackle, wasn't very good. They said all along he's a guard. Played him at right guard, he was very good. He's actually a very good right guard and probably an NFL right guard. So in the past, there's no way he leaves Florida. He found his school. There's no way Jack Pyburn leaves Florida. He grew up a Gator and is a starting defensive end. Yet in the NIL world, the NIL portal world, the NIL world where you get paid, the portal world where you leave if you don't, both of those circumstances are the same. I'm convinced all these tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of players that we keep seeing in the portal, I think that's a big part of it.
Without a doubt. And there's schools that haven't traditionally been football powers that now are flush with money because they've got boosters. They just have never had the sustained football excellence. And I'll give you an example. So there's a report today that Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers is being offered $4 million from Michigan State to go be their quarterback next year, to put off the draft but not return to Texas where they're ready to move on to Arch Manning, but to go play at Michigan State. So if Michigan State is willing to pay a quarterback $4 million, again, a school that has had some football success, but not a lot of consistency. But what does Michigan State have? It's got a rich alumni base. It's a very old school, great tradition, and I'm sure it's got resources, and that this is an example of it. So this is what you're going to see. Again, it's just going to become a sport with the kind of parity that you see in the NFL because these college football programs that never really had the success to go out and sell on the recruiting trail to ever get something going, now they have the great equalizer. They have money too. And so, again, when I saw the report of Quinn Ewers offered the $4 million, I thought it would be a Michigan or Ohio State and, maybe a Penn State. But to see Michigan State do it, again, it just speaks to everyone has money. We're seeing what North Carolina is committed in the Belichick regime in terms of NIL. It's crazy money that is out there, and these players are going to take full advantage of it.
I just had this sent to me, by the way. LSU, Jack Pyburn is going to A&M today and tomorrow, and then LSU the next 2 days. Did you see this?
No.
The Jack Pyburn, and Pyburn, by the way, in his Instagram story, had another little cryptic, little bit chirpy post about why would I demand to be a starter if I'm already a starter. Well, if you saw the Instagram story, Hays, he was outside of a private jet. Did you see it?
Yes.
He was standing outside a private jet. Number one, I'm guessing that was by design, the post there. Secondly, I know enough people that know the Pyburns that he would have no trouble finding a private jet to fly on. Okay, so they do well. So Pyburn apparently on this private jet is headed to College Station in Baton Rouge in the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and again, I mean, obviously that there's assistants that have gone from Florida to Texas A&M, the defensive line coach. So, Pyburn obviously has a familiarity with, his position coach there. Should he choose to be an Aggie, in LSU, it's the same thing. They've hired assistants that Billy Napier has said goodbye to, and so they have some familiarity with Jack Pyburn, and so again, it is what it is. I mean, every school only has so much, and so you're going to pay your core players, and there's going to be players that are important to you, but you just don't have the money to pay everybody what they think the market would bear. It's the same thing in the NFL. It's why we have comp picks in the NFL to try and even it out. You're not going to have that in college football. You can't say, okay, well, you lost, Georgia, you lost this 5-star edge rusher that was really good, so now you get a comp pick of a 3-star out of wherever. I mean, that's not it's not how it's going to work. So it's the same principle in terms of your resources are finite for everybody, particularly when you're going up against schools that can absolutely overpay. And it's what we see in the NFL, and it's what you're seeing now in college football.
Yeah, and I will tell you, if you're two thoughts on the Pyburn thing. The number one, it's wise not to just land at A&M because that's probably what the A&M people expected. you know what, we coached you. You're not happy with them. We're going to pay you what you're worth. They didn't, blah, blah, blah. It's wise of him to say, well, before I do that, I'm going to stop by LSU too. Or after I see you, I'm going to stop by LSU too before I commit. That drives up the price. Again, I still have a hard time believing, and I don't know what the difference in the money is, okay? But here's my position on this. And look, the kid wants to play in the NFL. So he's convinced that, or he's believing, I would think, whoever gives me the most reps, whoever plays me the most downs, and I'm told from people that are close to him that that's part of this. Whoever plays me the most, Florida rotates and rotates and rotates. Whoever plays me the most gives me the best chance to play in the league. I get that. But I have a hard time believing, and maybe this is the Florida, if my Gator coming out, then indulge me, okay? But I got a hard time believing this kid could have a better football experience at two schools that he thought were the enemies forever after growing up since he was 5 years old going to Florida games. And that's not because just it's Florida. I'd say the same thing if he had spent the last 15 years of his life going to Oregon games. I just have a hard time believing that, and I don't sense that it's just the money, because I think the money's representative of, by the way, in his mind, who you think's better. But I don't think it's just the money. I think it's the playing time. But I just don't believe in my heart of hearts that this kid who grew up rooting for this team and would be a hero forever had he never left in the state of Florida, I don't think he's going to have that now, and I don't think it's going to be a happier ending. I guess that's my point. I just don't sense that it is.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's going to be something that he will regret, unfortunately. And again, it has nothing to do with him being at Florida. It'd be for any athlete. If you've grown up loving a school, if that's your dream school, and you get the opportunity to play for that school, and then have a big role and really be a big reason why you have what's deemed a successful season. And you're being paid, well, you're getting, $350,000. My advice would be stay there. And yes, you could probably get more elsewhere, but there is absolutely something to being a legacy, to being one of the last guys to walk out on senior day. We see this in the NFL a lot. Again, both sports are going to be almost overlapping each other now. We talk about it with the Jaguars. We have for years about free agency. You can't judge a free agent off their first year. It's tough for somebody to uproot, go to a new place, and be a star in year one. Sometimes it does happen. Saquon Barkley, year one star for the Eagles. But a lot of times free agents need a second year. Then they really start to find themselves at their new destination. It's going to be the same thing in college, probably even more to a profound level, because you're still talking about much younger players. Players that aren't as mature as a 26, 27-year-old is when their rookie contract expires, normally, or 25, 26, somewhere in there. Now you're talking about guys that are, some of these guys are teenagers or 20, 21 years old. And so, yeah, you go to your new place, but how do you know that the scheme is going to fit? How do you know that you're going to like where you are, like living in a different part of the country? How do you know that, if you do suffer a strained hamstring on the second day of workouts, that, by the time you come back, your spot is going to be there? Because at Florida, it would have been. If Pyburn gets hurt at Florida, something minor, misses a couple weeks, all right, his playing time is probably not going to be overly affected by that.
He'll be
because he has credibility in that organization. When you come in and no one knows who you are, you're just a number, basically, in what they've paid you. If it doesn't go well early, they're going to quickly move off of you. And that's, I think, something that, all players should be cognizant of, is if you've built a foundation of credibility at a place, you're taking a risk by going to the next place where, yeah, you might get a couple $100,000 more, but you also don't know. Everything has to go perfect for you that first month, those first few weeks of practices, or things can get really south on you quick.
Conceptually, the portal is there for kids who weren't starting. That's why it's there. It's for kids who weren't getting the football experience they wanted. That's reality. That's why it's there. with college football for years has had players transfer, but they've had to sit out a year, and and the portal says, listen, you should play wherever you want. You shouldn't have to sit out a year. You get to go play. So, and it makes sense. Florida lost 13 kids in this portal, 10, 12. 10 or 11 of them weren't starters. They got Justice Boone got beat out. Some of the tight ends got beat out. Well, then go play somewhere where you're more likely to play it. I get that. It's odd, and again, just your choice, but not just Florida. It's odd when starters leave to play somewhere else. Starters at a blue blood. Now, if you're a starter at Charlotte and you think you can leave because you can go be the quarterback at Louisville or Kentucky, well, then that's different. But starters at a blue blood leaving that's a very unusual paradigm. That's what's unusual about Pryburn and Damian George. We'll take a break. Let's talk NFL football with Pete Prisco after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL. He's a master at recon. Hays Carlyon takes you behind enemy lines on 1010XL.
What's your position?
That's top secret. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table. This is the absolute last weekend. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
Hey gang, Dan Hicken here for America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 10 million active members. It's PrizePicks. First things first, download the app today and use code JAX, that's JAX, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download that app today, use code JAX, $50 after you play your first $5 lineup. How to play? All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, like, is Jared Goff going to throw for more than 230 passing yards? Will Saquon Barkley have more than 1 touchdown? Will Travis Kelce have less than 70 receiving yards? You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, which they usually do, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. PrizePicks also now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals. PrizePicks, run your game.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 47th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget, and with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, open 7 days a week in December.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
The 1010XL restaurant of the day.
Moss Fire Grill in Riverside. Happy hour 3 to 7 with drafts, margaritas, and handcrafted bites starting at only $5. Moss Fire Grill.
See you on the rooftop.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Icebreakers Bar and Grill in the Community First Igloo is the coolest place in town for lunch and dinner. Watch the game with a wide selection of local beers, cocktails, wings, burgers, ribs, and more. Enjoy with family and friends at Emerson and I-95.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Hays Carlyon for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners, do you need bathroom partitions and accessories? Frank Frangie here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. Coyle & Sons will design it for you. Call them today at 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Tomorrow, a new state champion will be anointed in Class 3A. The undefeated Reigns Vikings head south to Pit Bull Stadium at Florida International University to take on the second-ranked Northwestern Bulls for a marquee matchup in Miami. The Vikings have been nothing short of spectacular all season long, with an explosive offense averaging almost 50 points per game and a defense that is a force to be reckoned with totaling 53.5 sacks heading into tomorrow's contest. Pure domination. Reigns looks to shut down Northwestern and their head coach, Teddy Bridgewater. Kickoff is set for 7:30 for the big game. UNF basketball, who's 3-1 at home this season, will host UNC Greensboro tomorrow night at 5. The Ospreys are hoping to recover after a 93-91 overtime loss to Georgia Southern last weekend. It's 62 degrees at 5:07. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
Hi, we do want to thank our friends from Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles List. That's great. The place to go for Christmas and holiday shopping. Look, if you root for a team, or if the person you're buying for roots for a team, you got to go to Showtime. It's on Phillips Highway right there at Shad Road. They've got such a great selection. It doesn't matter who you root for, I'm telling you. Doesn't matter. If you root for somebody, you have to head to Showtime. Head to Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles, or find them on all the social channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Pete Prisco joins us now. Pete, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, Jags got a win last week, Pete. Have you heard? They got a win on the road.
There was a bigger win the day before, in the grand scheme of sport.
By the way, Arizona State just keep whooping everybody. They're not going to go. Are they going to go just win that thing, Pete, just to piss everybody off?
I don't know if they're good enough in defense. I mean, offensively they can score. They'll run the ball, and the quarterback's pretty good. But I don't know if they're good enough on defense. But look, if Clemson beats Texas, they can beat Clemson.
Right.
Texas worries me, but the quarterback's not playing very well. So, look, anything's possible in that thing.
Is it important to win it this year, since Kenny Dillingham's probably going to be at LSU in a year or so? Is it important to win now, is my thought?
He's not going to LSU. He's a Sun Devil. He's not going to leave the program. Come on. No, I mean, is it important for him to win it this year? Yeah, because this isn't sustainable. I don't think it is. He's done a great job, but they're going to be one of those teams that every once in a while you pop into the playoff, but it's not going to be like Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State and all those teams because they just don't have the resources that the schools do.
Speaking of ASU, you got anything tomorrow? You got anything tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 for those Gators, for those undefeated and 6th-ranked Gators? That's my question for you. Anything tomorrow? What do you got?
You know what? I've watched that Gators team a couple of times. They're good. That's a good team.
They are a good team.
I mean, ASU's got a lot of talent. I mean, they got the kid the kid who was supposed to go to Kentucky, the big kid, and they got him to flip, and he went to ASU. They have talent, but that Florida team's been really impressive to me.
That'll be a fun one. Pete, the Jags win last week at Tennessee. I don't know what the significance is in your mind. They needed to win a game. It was interesting. Once they started throwing the ball to Brian Thomas Jr., things got a lot better. He's got a chance to be a real star in the league, Pete. He really does.
I love him. Look, I even said it on your show early in the season. I said it on Monday night the whole time. I said, coming out, I thought he was going to be a big-time player. He just needed to adjust his routes and learn the route running stuff. But he's a star. I mean, that is going to be a number one, just like the elite guys in this league. He's one of those guys. And so they have that guy. Now they just have to supplement the people around them. But it's a mystery why they don't get him the ball more. You come out of halftime and you say, well, we got to get him the ball more. But why wouldn't you get him the ball in the first place? It made no sense to me.
On the other side, in terms of that matchup, Tennessee, I know you've been real, supportive and thought Will Levis would certainly become
bad last week.
A great player. Yeah. Is that just one game in your opinion, or because he had played pretty well before, or are there things that you're starting to see that are a concern long term?
No, I mean, it's hard to evaluate him because, I'll give you an example. There was a play where they had 2 men in the route and they max protected, and there were 3 guys covering Ridley down the field, and he didn't have the check down guy because he was covered by 2 guys, and then he got hit. I think the design of the offense isn't great. Ridley is okay. He's not great. And then the offensive line is awful. And so it's hard to, then I go back and I watch the tape, and the touchdown, Westbrook-Ikini should have caught the ball for a touchdown. Ridley should have got a first down on that ball he threw to him instead of going out of bounds. And then he missed wide open the tight end. He threw to the back, and that guy shouldn't even been part of the read progression. So inconsistency, young quarterback, bad line, not a great group of wide receivers, and not great play calling either. So he's part of the problem, but I don't know if you can really evaluate him yet.
I will tell you this, of the young guys we've seen in my 11 years of doing the games, and we've been all over, but you see something different when you're at the game, obviously. I do think he's more raw than I thought, Pete. I do. I think he's I will say this. Stroud is going to be good, even though he's having a bad year this year, not as good a year. He will be a very good quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, I have no doubt, will be a very good quarterback. The other 2 guys, Anthony Richardson and Levis, look more raw to me than I would have expected. I know it's only their second year. I get it. But you know what I mean? They feel more raw to me than I would have expected.
Well, and they were both raw coming in.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole thing. And again, it's such a hard evaluation, and it really is. You look at some of the throws he makes, and you go, okay. And then you watch him on tape, and you go, what did he do? Why did he do that? But, and here's the thing. A lot of these guys get fed up because of the bad offensive lines, and I think that's the problem with Stroud now with the Texans. He's so sped up, he doesn't look like the same guy. We watched the game last night. Both those quarterbacks looked middling for, 2.5 quarters of that game. The weather had something to do with it, but these guys, I think you got to protect and you got to be good on the offensive line. That's why the good teams are the ones with the good offensive line.
Yeah, how do you see Sunday's game going when the Jets come here?
I saw some good things from the Jets offense last week, and that's a tough matchup. Those receivers can still play. Rodgers, for the first time threw the ball to him and hit him and looked like, Rodgers. Maybe he's healthier now because he hasn't been healthy all year. And I think that's a real tough matchup. And now you lose Engram. Aside from Thomas, where are you going? Where do you go with the football? I think, they should use the second-year tight end should be used more than he's been used. And they haven't used that. That's one of the perplexing things to me is how he can make a catch in the middle of the field, and then you come back and you go, well, where is he the rest of the game? And there were games where they didn't use him. I don't understand that because he has flashed at times.
Pete, what went wrong with the Jets? Now, and maybe you hit on it. Aaron Rodgers played hurt. But that was a team that was pretty good. Some people liked them in the Super Bowl. Most thought they were going to the playoffs. The next thing you know, they're playing badly. Salah's fired. Hackett's fired. They're 3-10. What went wrong with that franchise?
Well, Frank, part of it was, you mentioned him. I don't think he ever truly recovered from that Achilles last year. And remember, they talked about him coming back last year. He just didn't look like the same guy.
Right.
Their offensive line had problems and injuries. They signed 2 veterans. Tyron Smith hasn't been the same player. He's now out. They put the rookie in. He's been pretty good, and they're better up front. Then they go make the deal for Adams, and everybody thought he'd fix it, but it didn't because it took him a little while to get acclimated. And then you go to the defense. It was supposed to be a dominant defense. It's the one thing you could count on. You knew Salah was there. You know, when he was there, they could count on the defense. And then when they fired him and made the defensive coordinator the head coach, the defense became bad, and guys didn't tackle. Guys haven't played well. You know, Sauce Gardner hasn't played well. Quincy Williams hasn't been as good. You know, they've had injuries on that side of the ball. It's just, and they don't tackle. And that's one thing. It bothers me when I see a team. There were a couple games this year where you looked at them and you go, they quit. They quit. And I think Arizona was one of those games. They just looked like they quit. So I think add it all up, and that's why they've had all kinds of problems.
San Francisco had a terrible loss last night to the Rams. Where do you think they're pretty much out of it now. What do you think they do with Brock Purdy and moving forward? What kind of fortunes do you think the 49ers will have?
You know, it's weird because last week you would have said, oh, my gosh, Brock Purdy was fantastic. You got to pay him. After last night, you look at him and you go, boy, he was terrible. I don't know. Do you have to pay him? And so this is going to be one of those situations where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And, you know, look, he doesn't throw well when the weather's bad. That's been proven out. That's played out in his career, and the weather wasn't good. He missed a bunch of throws last night that he should have hit down the field. On the long ball that was picked off late in the game, he had a check down easily available to him and didn't take it. So there's a lot of inconsistency there. Then you got, you know, everybody wonders about Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel hasn't been the same player all year. He came into the year, he looked heavy. He didn't look as sudden. And what is he? You know, he's a receiver who doesn't run that well. And he's a gimmick guy. I think, you know, then they've had the injuries with Trent Williams. Greenlaw was out, came back, went out. I mean, it's been one thing after another for that 49ers team. And the question becomes, can they regroup and get back into it next year?
Final question, Pete. In the division races, obviously 3 of the 4 in the East and the AFC are settled. Buffalo's settled. Kansas City's settled. I don't think Indianapolis can catch Houston. I think that's settled. The North, not so much. The Steelers have a 2-game lead, but they got to play the Ravens after they play. I mean, they've got obviously tough games coming up.
They got the Eagles this week. Yeah, the Eagles this week.
At the Eagles, they still got the Chiefs. They still got the Ravens. So I think that one's not settled. In the NFC, some really good races. As good as Detroit is, that one's not settled yet, Pete. Tampa Bay's 1 game ahead. That one's not settled. And the West isn't settled. The Rams are playing better. Any surprise winners in these divisions as we move forward, in your opinion?
No, but I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago I thought Tampa would catch and win that one. And look, Kirk Cousins has been awful.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why they've caught up to him. But, you know, like this week, Indianapolis plays at Denver. That's essentially a playoff game, you know, particularly for Indy. If they lose that game, they're probably done. So, you know, they could catch Denver as a wild card team, but they could also catch the Texans. The Texans play Miami this week. Not an easy game, big game for both teams. And then they go to Kansas City next week. So if Indy won that one, came home and won, their schedule's favorable down the stretch, then all of a sudden you could say, okay, well, maybe Indy could make a run to catch them in the division. So I think that's the one you got to keep an eye on. The AFC is pretty much set, I think, for the most part. The NFC, you know, talk about that West, that thing's still way wild. And you know, we call it the Wild West every week. And then, you know, you mentioned if the Lions can win this week against the Bills, I think they have a real chance to end up as the number 1 seed because, you know, this is one of their last true tests, although they do play the Vikings down the stretch.
Really tough test, no question about it. Jets and Jags, who wins, Pete?
I think the Jets beat them. I just think this team's too undermanned. Look, they're not a good team, and now they're undermanned even more by losing your tight end. You playing with the backup quarterback, that's always a problem. So I think the Jets beat them.
We'll have to wind up and see. Pete Prisco.
I think it could do so this week. No Belichick in the mix.
That's good news. Belichick is definitely out of the mix. You're exactly right. Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com. Thank you, Pete.
All right, guys, take care.
All right. That is Pete. Once again, it's brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. I'm telling you, Christmas and holiday shopping, now's the time to go get your gifts at Showtime for the sports fan in your life. Located at Phillips and Shad, and, of course, on all those social channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. After a one-week hiatus, our picks are back. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Defense just stepping up and playing dominant.
A strong fence protects your yard like a stout defense protects the bank.
Number one takeaway defense.
Each week, Superior Fence and Rail presents the Defensive Player of the Game on 1010XL.
It's holiday season, and Nimnick Buick GMC is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us because there's nobody but Nimnick. Now, look, if you're looking for a better used car shopping experience, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. And with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value for your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. What kind of models are you getting? Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right. All makes, all models. And trading in your old vehicle, don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. It's holiday season, and there's never a better time to buy from Nimnick. Who takes care of you? Nobody but Nimnick.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. And I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Holiday gift shopping doesn't have to be such a headache. At Showtime, we can direct you to the best gift option for your loved one, or simply purchase one of our gift cards so they can decide on something later. Open 7 days a week. It's Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this. Call State Farm agent Rami Elabu, 309-9077.
Football's heating up. The NBA is back. And on Hard Rock Bet, you can bet every sport. Even combine all your sports into one bet. One Florida bettor put $50 on a combo parlay and won more than $100,000. And they tacked on another $10,000 to that win with a daily profit boost. Promos every day for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Getting you ready for the game. Pre-Game Friday. Built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Your
replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barra here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barra Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to barriorthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barra Orthopedics.
Every weekend is a Stone Cold Sports Weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of team spirit with FOCO. Apparel, headwear, home decor, and more. Use code 1010XL15 at checkout for 15% off. FOCO ships fast for the holidays. Head to FOCO.com/1010XL.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club is an attractive destination for golfers all over the Southeast. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that will test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time at hiddenhillsgc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The Frangie Show Picks Contest is presented by Sunshine Turf. For the highest quality artificial grass installations at affordable prices, it's Sunshine Turf.
You hear Lauren Brooks talk about Sunshine Turf all the time. I promise you, I'll tell you about it. All the great work they did at our ballpark. We really appreciate Caleb and all the folks from Sunshine Turf. They do an outstanding job. They are the people you really can trust. And Caleb's a good guy, too. So if you need a turf, trust me. My friends at Sunshine Turf, Caleb and company do a fantastic, fantastic job. And the word's out, by the way. We had breakfast with him the other day. He said he's crazy busy. The word is out. Sunshine Turf is as good as it gets. So if you need turf, trust me when I tell you, Sunshine Turf, they're the best in the business. All right, let's get right to this. The standings look like this. A little bit of a run last week for me. Still in last place, but at least I caught closer to JJ. Hays Carlyon did not have a great week last week, Hays. You were 3-5, 4 total points. JJ 4-4, 5 total points. I was 6-2 with 9 total points. Best week I've had.
Well done.
So Hays now 59, 35, 79 total points. JJ 52, 42, 64 total points. I'm 50 and 44, 62. So 79, 64, and 62. Look at the game picker uppers. You got 13. Hays and JJ and I both have 5. We're all 7-3 in money balls. Here we go. No money ball. Well, it is money balls, but yeah, two players. Army Navy. I know you've been researching that one back and forth. You go first all the time now. Army Navy. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with Navy here in an upset. I like the way they're playing.
All right, I'll go the other way. I'll go with Army because I've spent a lot of time. I watch tape. I watch film. I've watched film and tape. I've watched digital film and digital tape. I'm going to go with Army. JJ.
I'll go with Army as well.
We're gonna catch him, JJ. That's what's gonna happen here. Now to the NFL. A little NFL music, please, JJ. We only have one college game here. All right, here we go. Houston's at home against Tua and the Miami Dolphins. Hays Carlyon.
The Dolphins are sizzling hot. I'm surprised they're the underdog in this game because I haven't been impressed with Houston for a long time. So I'll take the Dolphins in a minor upset.
JJ.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins as well here. They should have lost last week, but I like them to win this one.
I'll go the other way. Try for a game picker-upper. I will take the Houston Texans. The Titans at home against the Bengals, Hays Carlyon.
I like Cincinnati here. Joe Burrow's playing at MVP level. They just they've just had a really tough season, but they did get a win. And I saw Will Levis play last week, and Pete's right. He's not the only reason of concern in Tennessee, but I gotta think Joe Burrow's going to outscore Will Levis in this game.
I will take the Bengals for just that reason. JJ.
Yeah, I can't pick the Titans to beat anybody. I'm going with the Bengals.
Bengals across the board. The Seahawks at home against the Packers, Hays Carlyon.
Good game. I am going to take Green Bay here. They're getting Romeo Doubs back, who is a security blanket for Jordan Love. And defensively, they've been playing better. So give me Green Bay to go and win in a very tough environment.
JJ.
I'll go with the home team, Seattle.
Okay. I am going to come with JJ on that as well. I'll take the Seahawks as well. The Chargers at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Hays Carlyon.
I like the Chargers here. Great defense. Justin Herbert looks like he's going to be okay. Was battling an ankle this week. So I will take the Chargers to win a low-scoring game.
I'm coming with you, Chargers too. JJ.
The Bucs are getting healthier. I'll go with the Bucs to try to make up some ground here.
All right, there you go. Game picker upper chance. Now, a couple really good ones. In Detroit, Ford Field in downtown Detroit, right next to Greektown. Greektown's phenomenal in Detroit, by the way. Lions at home against the Bills. Hays Carlyon.
I'm going to go with the Lions here. I love both squads. They could both easily win their conference and meet up in the Super Bowl again, but I just think the way Detroit offensively, what they've been able to do, Aaron Glenn's done a fantastic job with their defense. So as enticing as it is to take Josh Allen, I'm going to go with Detroit Lions.
JJ.
The Lions are beat up on defense. I'll go with the Bills.
I'll take the Lions at home. I just think they're that good. The Philadelphia Eagles. Harry Callis would say the Eagles. Eagles at home against the Steelers. Who do you like?
I think Pittsburgh's offense is just too wounded here, not having George Pickens. Jalen Warren is playing better as a combo back with Harris, but I think it's going to be difficult for them to keep up, and that Steelers defense is elite, but I think Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown will find their connection again, and Saquon Barkley's playing at such a high level, so I'll take Philadelphia.
And I will come with you, the Eagles as well, J.J. LaSelva.
Yeah, with Pickens out, I got to go with Philly.
Eagles all the way across the board. And finally, the money ball. I mean, this is Jets, Jets versus JAGS, Jags. That's what we're talking about. That's what you got. I don't know what you got over there on your side of the table. That's what I got on this side of the table. Hays Carlyon, he hails from the Bowl School. Jets at Jags. What say you?
I like the Jets in this game. I just don't see how the Jaguars are going to orchestrate enough offense here. I mean, they're not a good offensive team anyway when they're healthy. And now you're down another key piece in Evan Engram on top of Trevor Lawrence, on top of Christian Kirk, to a lesser extent, Gabe Davis as well. So I think the Jaguars might be able to run the ball a little bit, but I just think for Mac Jones, there's just not going to be much other than Brian Thomas Jr. And Aaron Rodgers on the other side, I think, can generate the 17 points that they're probably going to need to win this game. So I will take the Jets.
Jets on the road, JJ.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Aaron Rodgers over Mac Jones every day. I'm going to take the Jets, and it's probably going to be like a home game there. I'm going to go with the Jets in a big one.
The Jets have Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, and the Jags are playing a backup. No disrespect to Mac, but I'll take the Jets as well. So those are our picks. One more time. Army, Navy. Hays likes Navy. JJ and I both like Army. In the pros, I'll take the Texans at home. You guys both like the Dolphins. Bengals and Titans, we like the Bengals across the board. JJ and I both like the Seahawks at home. Hays likes the Packers on the road. Hays and I both like the Chargers at home. JJ likes the Bucs on the road. Hays and I both like the Lions at home. JJ likes the Bills on the road. We all think the Eagles are going to win against the Steelers, and we have all taken the Jets in the money ball. That is the way it's going. One more time, the standings look like this. 79 total points for Hays Carlyon from the Moss Point Grill. JJ has 64 total points. I've got 62 total points. He's going to be hard to catch, JJ. All we can do is keep trying and taunting him along the way. That is the plan. So there you go. I like it. This is fun. It's a fun week. We have a bunch of really good NFL games.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a fantastic week. Again, I don't know that we'll see a classic at 1 o'clock, but it will literally be, as soon as the Jaguar-Jets game is over, it's going to be find a TV, because there are multiple games in that 4:30 window that are sensational.
Yeah. So you're exactly right about that. I'm going to ask you to land it for us. I'm going to help my wife. She's going through some stuff, so I'm going to help her out right now with a few things. But quickly before I say goodbye and let you and JJ handle the last segment, if you don't mind.
Sure.
What do the Jags have to do to win the game? How do they beat the Jets?
I think you put a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers early with Hines Allen and Walker and disrupt him and get off to a fast start, because whoever gets down in this game by 10 is probably going to fold the tents with both teams being 3-10. So I think quick start, get a 10-0 lead, hit Rodgers a couple times, disrupt him, and then hope that between Brian Thomas Jr., Brenton Strange, Bigsby, and Etienne, you can get to 17 points. I don't think you're going to have to score a ton, but I do think you'll probably need 17. So could the Jaguars win 17-16, something like that? That's probably their path.
I think there's two Jets teams, Hays. I think there's the Jets team that seems motivated even though they're out of it. I thought the Jets played very well against the Dolphins last week. Probably should have won the game. That's a team that seemed engaged. Aaron Rodgers cut it loose a little bit more than he had. There's also a Jets team that's mailed it in. That's why they came into that game. That's why they're 3-10 now. I mean, so that's why they're coming into this game 3-10. I don't think the Jags are that. I think the Jags just haven't played well. I don't think I don't think they vary between who they are. I think we've seen who they are, but it's just so hard with so many guys. I was thinking about this today, and Doug and I talked a little bit about it during the interview. You start 11 guys on offense. Well, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, now Evan Engram. That's 3 guys. You lost your starting left tackle, who you've traded, but he's not there anymore. And, oh, by the way, the quarterback's out. 5 of the 11 that you started the season with aren't on the team, are gone for the year or not on the team anymore. Now, again, that's the NFL. I mean, it's the next man up. But I can't imagine how you can move forward with that and be as successful as you want. So I'll take a break. Hays and JJ will wrap the program for you. I'll see you next week. Fun weekend coming up, the Heisman Trophy, and a bunch of good NFL games. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold & Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
One of the great college football rivalries taking place on Saturday in Landover, Maryland. It is Army-Navy. Army ranked 22nd at 11-1. They're a 6.5-point favorite against the midshipmen, -115 against the spread. Navy getting the 6.5 points, -105. On the money line, the midshipmen are +200. The Black Knights -270. The over-under total at 39.5. -105 for the over and -115 for the under. The college football playoff begins a week from Saturday. Both Oregon and Texas are the betting favorites to win the national championship, both at +350. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
The holidays are here, and so is your entire family.
Uh-oh, the toilet's not flushing.
And now the kitchen sink's clogged too?
There's water coming from the ceiling. It's raining in the living room.
Don't let this be your holiday disaster. Call Duck Duck Rooter today and get those plumbing issues fixed before family time turns into flood time. Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing pros and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, Wiggle Wiggle, Garber Wiggle. It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle. Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, Wiggle Wiggle, Garber Wiggle.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold & Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, Call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
For your chance to win 4-day weekend general admission passes for Welcome to Rockville Festival in Daytona Beach, May 15th to 18th, text the word ROCK to the 1010XL text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
Hey folks, Dave Binion here with Zero Res. At Zero Res, we love rugs. We will treat your fine Oriental rugs with the tender and loving care they deserve. Gerard, the Zero Res rug manager, is one of the few certified master rug cleaners in Florida. If you want your rugs cleaned with tender loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, get your rugs washed and we will give you 25% off. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. And Greg, when you start to shift from warmer weather into some cooler weather, you can get on the road. What has Honda got to offer?
Honda's got a bunch of great bikes. They've got the new e-clutch technology, which means you can ride without using your clutch.
And I love the fact you can go automatic on a bike, which was unheard of for a while.
It was for a long time, and Honda has mastered it.
You can log on cyclesofjacksonville.com, see all they have to offer, or drop by the showroom. They're on Atlantic near Regency. That's Cycles of Jacksonville.
Huddle up at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. From their famous wings to refreshing new cocktails, serving up the flavors you crave. And score big with awesome happy hour deals. It's the perfect spot to catch all the football action while enjoying your food faves, cocktails, and beer. Don't miss out. Grab your friends and family and swing by Hurricane Grill and Wings and see what everyone's cheering about. Find the restaurant nearest you at hurricanewings.com.
You've worked hard to have nice things, protect and enjoy them with a luxury storage unit at The Shed, opening soon in Atlantic Beach. You got to see these places to believe them. What a smart investment out at AB. I can take 10 minutes, but I can't tell you everything. Go to theshedjacks.com or take a tour on Instagram.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Opportunity is knocking this weekend in the sports betting world, and MyBookie has all the action you want to take. This Sunday, 1 p.m., the New York Jets come to town as 3.5-point favorites to beat your home team. Neither team is playing particularly well with a 40.5-point game total. Take the under in this one. At 4 o'clock, we have maybe the game of the year. The Bills at the Lions. The Lions are favored by 2.5 at home. The game total is a whopping 54.5. Everybody is going to want action on this game, so pay attention to the prop bets and play the over on the lines that you like for yardage and touchdowns. Sunday Night Football, the Packers travel to play the Seahawks. Give a strong look for the Packers to cover. The 2.5-point spread is underdogs. Sign up now at MyBookie and get a double deposit bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. Make yourself a winner this weekend with MyBookie, and don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASC certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
Help fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Hit 'em Straight Golf Tournament December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun while raising money for the Melanoma Research Foundation. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Aaron Rodgers, who is undoubtedly a future Hall of Famer, will play his third career game in Duval this Sunday. Although the Jets have dealt with lots of adversity, the weapons they have still pose a large threat between him, Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, and Garrett Wilson. Here's defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen on what makes Rodgers so dangerous and how they can shut him down.
Run around making plays with his legs, and he can make every throw. Ball's coming out quick. It's going to be a huge challenge, as it is every time you play him. So still playing at a high level, sees the game extremely fast and gets the ball out, and we got to do a good job in our rush, not letting them extend. And then in our coverage, playing tight coverage, no easy throw. So nothing cheap, nothing deep, and keep them in the pocket.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, it's been a fun show today. Frank caught up with Doug Peterson. We always enjoy that conversation as the Jaguars get ready to host the Jets on Sunday. We talked to Rafael Esparza from MyBookie, who gave us some great thoughts, I thought, on a litany of NFL games, as well as Army-Navy and a couple early college football playoff thoughts. But good to catch up with Rafael. And then Pete Prisco joined us to talk all things NFL. So it's been a fun Frangie show as we get ready to send it to the weekend and turn it over to Rick Ballou coming up at the top of the hour. So, JJ, I want to ask you something. Do you have a favorite Christmas music, like a favorite Christmas song?
I not necessarily, no. Not that I could think of.
Okay. Do you guys, you and the wife, listen to Christmas music or not?
Yeah,
really?
when I'm in the car, I'll turn it on close to Christmas.
All right. Have you gotten there yet, or is it still a little too early?
I've heard it, but no, I haven't been playing it myself yet.
Okay. All right. So you're still kind of, feeling your way. I get that. I kind of am too. I listened to, we had Chuck Berry, Run Rudolph on headlines yesterday, and I love that one. My favorite Christmas song is David Bowie and Bing Crosby doing this version of Little Drummer Boy, but it's also got Peace on Earth. It's fantastic if you've never heard it. But anyway, we're getting close. Christmas parties, Christmas music, and then obviously we're a couple weeks away. In terms of Christmas and the giving season, you've got something to give away, is that correct?
I do. I have a pair of tickets to Jason Isbell in the 400 live at the Amp, April 11th. Tickets go on sale today. They went on sale today at 10 a.m. So call our number for right now, 641-1010. A pair of tickets to see Jason Isbell.
Nice. Very cool. I got a lot of things I want to get to in the next few minutes here, so we'll kind of go quick. But JJ, for people who didn't hear it earlier, your Heisman thoughts, who should win? Who would you vote for?
Travis Hunter, probably. I might have Cam Ward second, but I'd probably have Jincy, and I'd have Cam Ward third. Best quarterback to me.
It's my exact three, and I think you have to give it to Travis Hunter. I mean, nothing against Jincy, who is incredible and is put up an unbelievable numbers at Boise State, but we just haven't seen anything like Travis Hunter. I mean, imagine in all seriousness, what would he have been at FSU? Because he would have been on the two teams that were good, the team that went 10-3, and then so who knows if he could have made a difference in one of those being a victory, and then obviously they would have had him last year when they went undefeated. It's incredible to think what that could have been, but I think Travis Hunter is deserving. Plays an unbelievable amount of snaps. It will be fascinating to see how he projects in the NFL. I like him as a corner and a corner only. I at least for his first year, I would want him to just focus in on that. But can't wait to see how the NFL employs him. And big basketball game also tomorrow. Florida playing Arizona State. Arizona State only has one loss. This will be the best team that Florida has faced. They're very big and they shoot the three well. So it will be a test for Florida. If Florida can just kind of be even in regards to shooting from distance, I think they'll be fine in this game. They're deeper, but Florida's rebounding edge that they usually are accustomed to getting, that's going to be harder to earn. And they've been off for 10 days, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the layoff. But Florida should certainly feel great about their start. Again, they're undefeated. There's one of just a handful of teams left in Division I that are undefeated. But this will be their best test. Florida has not really played a dominant strength of schedule. I think they're outside the top 200 actually right now in that metric. So this will be a test, and we'll see if the Gators can improve to 11-0 and take down Arizona State. That game is 3:30 tomorrow in Atlanta. JJ, how's the portal going? Have the Canes made any waves yet?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's visits, but I honestly haven't seen anything.
Well, Florida got a punter today. I can tell you that, from Michigan, but that's about all that the Gators have done. I guess it's still kind of early. I mean, other than Castellanos going to FSU, it doesn't feel like we've seen more than maybe just 3 or 4 announcements, at least with teams that we pay attention to. Way more guys have entered, obviously, but have yet to pick their destination. If you could pick one player from Miami to add, who would you pick?
Connor Wegman.
Yeah, that's right. You've been high on him for a while. Yeah, that's a good one. And I think for Florida, it's there's a defensive tackle out of Kentucky that I think would make a lot of sense for the Gators as well. And they're in on a bunch of receivers. They probably need to add two big body possession kind of guys for DJ Lagway. Florida's got a plethora of small, fast receivers. But anyway, it'll be interesting. Did you watch the 49ers Rams game last night?
I had it on. I wouldn't say I was watching it very closely. It was very terrible.
It was a terrible game.
I was on my phone. Every time I looked up, there was a pun. And no, I made it to the end because I'm like in a picks contest, so I'll have a little bit of action on every game. But yeah, I won Rams plus 2.5, but no, The game was terrible.
What do you think the 49ers should do with Brock Purdy? What would you do?
With Brock Purdy?
Yeah. Would you pay him? They don't have to pay him. He's got one more year left on his rookie deal.
I don't understand why any of these teams ever pay guys when they don't have to too early. I didn't understand it here with Trevor, and definitely not with Brock Purdy. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would say and we asked Pete this, and he made a good point of you're kind of either way you choose has a massive hindrance attached to it. If the 49ers don't pay him and he plays really well next year, you can't tag him. Well, you can tag him. You can't. They don't have the option of a fifth year. So he's at the end of his rookie contract is obviously being the last pick in the draft, the year that he was in the draft. So his contract just expires. So you could tag him, obviously, and you could sort of go down the Kirk Cousins path in Washington of tag him, make him earn it. Maybe you could even tag him a second time. Then it gets really prohibitive in terms of keeping him. Or San Francisco could just go ahead and pay him and lock him in. I would probably lean towards paying him because but I get it. I mean, it's certainly more of a coin flip than. And he was awful last night, but he has certainly had many great moments there as well. But that one I think is going to be really interesting to see how they go about it moving forward. We did our picks, but what game? You have an NFL game that obviously you'll be working Jags Jets, but do you have a game outside of that you're looking forward to watching?
Luckily, they put all the crap games at 1.
Yeah.
Like all of them. And they sort of put no 4 o'clock games, which I love. I wish they would do away with all of those. So like everything's 4:25 now. Because the 4 o'clock game, you can never see the beginning of any of the games.
Right.
I don't understand why they don't make them all 4:25. They finally did that, but it's got to be Lions versus Bills. I mean, like you said earlier, to me, that's the juiciest matchup we've had all season.
Yeah, forgetting the picks, do you like the Bills or would you have gone Lions? Just
no, I do like the Bills in this one, just because that defense. I mean, I saw they showed all the hurt defensive players in the box the other night.
It's amazing.
It's like 6 guys.
Oh, it's incredible how many guys the Lions have lost. So yeah, it'll be a fun game. We'll look forward to talking about it on Monday's Frangie Show, but that's going to do it for us. Again, Rick Ballou is up next. You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.